Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack open the institutional playbook. We're talking about a powerful, super repeatable pattern that the big players use to profit from volatility. Honestly, it's the secret behind some of the wildest market moves you see every single day. So let's start with something every single trader knows all too well, right? This frustrating reality that markets seem to just grind up slowly, step by step, taking the stairs. But when they decide to fall, whoosh, it's like they take the elevator straight to the basement. These sharp, sudden sell-offs that just feel like they come out of absolutely nowhere. There's actually a name for this. They call it the elevator down. And you know exactly what this feels like. You see these massive, red, vertical candles just slicing through levels that you thought were solid as a rock. It looks like total, unadulterated chaos. But here's the thing. Understanding this move, this seeming chaos, is the first step to turning it into a crystal clear opportunity. So in this explainer, we're going to break it all down into a clear, actionable playbook. We'll look at that big sell-off, what the institutions do next, the trap they set, how you can spot an entry, and of course, the explosive result. All right, let's dive right in. Okay, first things first. Let's get to the bottom of these dramatic drops. What is actually causing an elevator down move to happen in the first place? Say these moves aren't random at all. They happen when a really critical, well-defended support level, you'll often hear it called a shelf, finally breaks. Think of it like a dam cracking open. When this multi-day shelf at 69.54 failed, for instance, it just unleashed a cascade of selling. And boom, you get that signature vertical drop where nothing else seems to matter. But here's where it gets really, really interesting. That huge sell-off? That's just Act 1. It's the beginning of a predictable three-part cycle, a little drama that plays out in the markets over and over and over again. And this sequence right here, this is the core of the entire playbook. First, you get that dramatic elevator down. That is immediately followed by a very specific kind of trap called a failed breakdown. And that trap is what lights the fuse for Act 3, a violent short squeeze recovery. And look, don't get it twisted, this isn't just market noise. This cycle is a core setup used by professional institutional traders. This is exactly how they look to get into their long positions, by taking advantage of the panic that they just saw in Act 1. So let's dissect the most important part of this whole cycle, the trap itself. This is the moment where the amateurs get caught and the professionals, well, this is where they get in. A failed breakdown is a deliberate, almost surgical move. First, the price plunges below a major low. Now this does two things at once. It triggers all the stop-loss orders from people who are already long, and it sucks in new, aggressive short sellers who think the floor is falling out. But then, and this is the key, it sharply reverses and snaps right back above that low, leaving all those new sellers completely trapped. The reason this trap works so well is because it literally manufactures panic. The break of the low creates a wave of forced selling, but the super fast recovery creates a second wave of forced buying because all those trapped shorts are now scrambling to buy back their positions and cut their losses. That panicked buying becomes the rocket fuel for an explosive rally. Okay, now for the